Awaken Creators. Amanda here. I want to talk to you about a part of creative resistance that has come up for me a lot, and that I think will really help those of you who struggle with getting started with your creative projects like I do sometimes. And while this advice in my particular expression relates to my writing, I think that it has applications no matter what medium that you prefer to express yourself through. So, creative resistance is that feeling that you get inside that prevents you from moving forward on your creative project. For some folks, it hits really hard before they get started. For other folks, it kind of creeps in slowly after they've begun and sort of, takes their fire away in the middle of their project. And for others, resistance can arise really strongly after they've completed their creative project or completed a session of creative expression, and cause them to then feel really bad about what they've just produced and want to withdraw and maybe not create again for a really long time. The creative resistance that I want to talk to you about today that I face primarily before I begin working on a project, and in particular working on writing novels and the like, is this idea that I need to start at the beginning, move through the middle, and end at the end. And I'm not sure exactly where I picked this up. I can see a lot of reflections of that kind of linear process type thinking in our culture, and in American society in particular, because that's where I'm from. That's my point of reference. But this idea that you need to start at A, move to B, then C, till you get to Z. And for me, as a creator, as a writer, I'm recognizing that I just don't operate that way. I can't necessarily start a story right at the beginning, move strategically down the line till I get to the end. And so when I'm going to enter into a creative session, there's a sense of resistance there, because already what I realize that I'm doing is I am not acknowledging my process of expression, my individuality in that moment. I am trying to fit myself into what I think is the right way to create, which is to start at the beginning, move to the middle, and end where it ends. However, that may not be your process. You may feel like expressing a particular scene that day, or a particular aspect of a design that doesn't necessarily start at the beginning or in a logical place, and it doesn't have to. So when we talk about creative resistance and when we talk about how that shows up, I really want to encourage you as awakened creators to pay a lot of attention to that resistance. It is there to teach you valuable lessons. A lot of folks who give creative advice, act like resistance is this evil foe that you must battle and all of that. Which can sometimes feel empowering, but I feel like at the end of the day, it leaves you thinking that there's an enemy within. And I don't believe that the creative process works that way. I really feel that whenever we sense resistance to producing art and creating, it's because there's something within ourselves, a thought process, usually a belief structure, or something that we are telling ourselves inside that isn't true to our hearts. And so it restricts the flow of creative energy. And I'll get into this a lot more later, and I have a video about the cycle of creative flow, but I'm going to make more. And if you're interested in learning more about that, let me know in the comments below. But the flow of creative energy that's constantly in motion, or wants to be in motion and moving through our hearts, when we tell ourselves these limiting stories like, I have to start at the beginning, otherwise I'm not doing it right, or it has to look this certain way, otherwise I'm not doing it right, you can see how that immediately is going to constrict you and block you from being able to, first of all, listen to your instincts, listen to your intuition that's trying to tell you, I don't want to start at the beginning. I want to start over here with this really exciting, fun scene today. Like, that will bring me the most joy. And to allow yourself the opportunity to, I can figure out the order of operations later, but I'm going to give myself the gift of expressing freely what it is that's on my heart today. And it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't have to follow some rules of writing or rules of creating that someone else has decided works for them, so it should work for everyone else. I'm actually just going to listen to what my heart's telling me it would like to do today and how it would like to create today. And I'm going to trust that that is the correct way to move forward on this project. So I really, really want to encourage you that if you are facing creative resistance, especially at the beginning of your project, you're feeling like you can't start your project, you can't start writing, there's something there that's coming up, some block that's coming up for you, I really want you to give yourself permission to not have to begin where you think you should begin, to not have to have it look how you think it should look right now, and to just let your heart play, let yourself express, let whatever in that present moment wants to come through, and trust that after all of it's laid on the table, after everything has been said that needs to be said, that you can neatly rearrange the pieces exactly where they need to go, and it will all work out perfectly. So stop thinking linearly. Creativity does not function in that way. Listen to your intuition. Allow that to guide your process, what works for you specifically, and pay attention to creative resistance and what it's trying to teach you so that you can finally face it, accept it, integrate it, and move on from it rather than have it keep coming up time and time again, because creative expression is meant to flow freely. That is the aspirational goal that we're moving to. The self-actualized version of a creative is allowing it to just be what it is every moment. Allow the resistance to come up, face it, clear it, move through it, and create what it is you feel like you're meant to create. So I hope that you found that helpful. I really want to hear from you. Where do you get stuck most with your creative projects? Is it in the beginning? Is it during the middle where you feel like you just want to give up? Is it at the end where you're reflecting maybe negatively on what you've produced? Where does resistance show up for you? And I'm curious if you can already start to see what that might be telling about a thought process or a belief structure that you're holding on to that needs to be faced and let go. Share in the comments below. I really want to hear from you. I want to hear all the different perspectives so we can give each other great advice and move forward in our creative journeys. Always, of course, doing the inner work so we can do the outer work that we love. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, thank you for giving it a thumbs up, and thank you for sharing it with a creatively minded friend who could use the additional support. And if you're not already a part of the Heart to Heart email community, please go to weareawakencreators.com and join. It is free, and you will get a weekly email from me giving you an insight into my personal creative journey, as well as additional supportive resources that I think will help you tremendously. So with that, I thank you, I love you, and I hope that you create something beautiful today. Namaste. If you enjoyed this video, you might also find these helpful. Thanks again for watching. Take care.